We got it all in there. Wow, what a conference. Everybody have a good time? A good venue. It was a great meeting. It was wonderful to host all of you here. I wanted to share with you some of the survey comments, just so I see some early indication. They're going to be open for 2 more weeks. If you haven't completed the surveys, do so, please. Let us know what you think. It makes a difference. It helps me, it helps the board, it helps the program committee, and it helps our speakers. So take some time. I'm not going to read every item there, but you can see that of the responses we've read thus far, your colleagues agree. It's a pretty good conference.
We do send speakers, thank you very much. We do send you feedback on your presentations once the survey results are compiled. So thank you to the speakers.
Thank you to our host sponsor and Connectivity and all of our premium sponsors. We at NANOG, the board, the program committee, all of us couldn't do what we do in terms of outreach without your support. So we really appreciate the investment that you're making in NANOG. Our individual meeting sponsors, under the conditions that we have with our memo of understanding, if you haven't been a sponsor before, I encourage you to reach out to me, Alyssa. I think all of these sponsors, I got to echo, at the meeting find it a good value to be break sponsors or beer and gear are most popular, but we do thank them all. Some statistics. The usual close, I give the attendees a sense of who's been here and what the attendee breakdown is. This information is posted on the website for NANOG 70, so you can always refer to it. But it gives an indication of what kind of demographics we found here. 1180 is not our largest meeting, but it is the largest in Bellevue. Our largest meeting is still San Francisco. It's interesting when I see the number of college immersion students. I'd like to point out, if you know of a school or faculty member, we can take an additional spot or 5 extra students. So we weren't full this time, we were close. My usual 23 to 29 different countries at a NANOG meeting holds true. We had 26 today. And the top organizations that sent attendees to this meeting. This one I had some notes noted on the slide because I'm getting old and it's hard for me to see the slide, but it is color coded. It's interesting, if you look at some of the previous demographics, NANOG really does serve internet service providers as indicated by you, equipment vendors, cloud service providers, and network operators. Thereby, network operators group in North America is very true. Special thanks to all of you. The attendees make a NANOG meeting what it is. Your meetings inside the program, out in the hallway, that's the fabric of NANOG. So I thank you for taking the time to join us here. To all of our members, membership is really important. It helps us as a board, as an organization, drive what we should be doing. The board of directors and committee members, they're all volunteers. No one gets paid to do this work here at NANOG, and they give their time for all of you, so thank you to them. Our sponsors, as I said, Valerie and Day at the back table, wave. They're absolutely awesome and key in making this meeting happen. Our social sponsor, or coordinator, helping us with the sponsored activity on Sunday night, which we're going to repeat, by the way, is Lisa Volpe from Netflix. She's been great to work with this time. Our contractors, Alyssa Miller, Linespeed does the network connectivity, Cascadian does the netcast or the broadcast out to YouTube, and Cirrus, who provides the Wi-Fi connectivity. So I think they do a great job and I appreciate their service. Hamilton Group, we could not service all of you as well as we do without the help of the Hamilton group, Sabrina, Kristen, Tessa. They're all great on the front lines. I think you'd agree. So thank you to all of them. All right, we want to save the dates. It's on our website, but I like to remind you of the upcoming activities. We have NANOG 71 in San Jose coming up. We haven't been, I checked the website and it was surprising to me. We haven't been to San Jose in a while. We've been to San Francisco, San Diego. We haven't been back to San Jose. I'm expecting another big meeting, so plan early. As soon as the room block gets posted and some of those things, it helps us if you register early on time so that we know how to accommodate t-shirts and all of those little things. We have in 2018, our meeting's already booked in Atlanta in February, Denver in June, and Vancouver in the fall. We do have an open sponsorship for Vancouver, so if anyone is open or interested, in hosting the open meeting, let me know. NANOG on the Road is a great opportunity for your engineers in the area that aren't able to come to a large meeting to join us in Boston in September and Fort Lauderdale in November. It's our outreach. We don't take a large meeting to those cities very often, but they're really tech industries, so we hope through NANOG on the Road we can reach other engineers that don't travel to the big meetings. And I'm going to let Dave Temkin talk about our upcoming annual elections.
Hi. So I mentioned during the opening, I also mentioned at the members' breakfast, we've got elections coming up. I know it seems like it's a far way off. We're talking about October, but that's the last time we're going to see all of you between now and then. And there's a bunch of things that happen between now and then if you want to participate in the elections. So as you see the schedules announced today, the webpage will be up in a couple of weeks. We'll open the call for nominations in early August. The nominations will close in early September, and so this is why it's so relevant, because we're not going to see people again between now and then. Voting will start October 2nd and will close during the meeting, and we'll announce the results there. You must be a member. Please join if you're not. We've beat it to death, but you can go to the membership section on the NANOG website. That is how you participate in this organization. That is how you make your voice heard, and if you want to actually run in the election, that would be part of it. I'm going to go slightly off script and say that we would love to encourage more diversity within the NANOG board. At this point, frankly, with Jezebel Gilmore terming out, we're just a bunch of white men. And it would be fantastic to have other women. It would be fantastic to have people of color, various backgrounds on that board. And so if you or someone you know may be interested in participating, please help them get involved in this process. On top of that, the committee nominations, which used to be done at the same time as the election, but having been on the board for a while now, I can tell you was a major pain in the ass to do at the same time. We have moved, and that is now done with the winter meeting. And so we will talk about those in more detail at the October meeting once the election is closed. We'll send out the call for participants, and we'll let everyone know who gets picked for that in the winter meeting next year. And with that, yeah, and actually just two other points real quick, or one other point real quick. We changed the composition of the election committee this past year. It used to just be made up of sitting board members. It is now made up of only 2 board members and 3 NANOG members at large. If you're interested in participating in that, it's relatively low impact. There's not a ton of work associated with it. You can either email me or Patrick, or just email board@nanog.org. We have a couple of candidates identified, but we're always happy to have more. And that'll be 3 NANOG members. And again, you must be a member. Are there any questions I can answer? Betty can answer anything in general, either about elections or about this meeting or about the organization or where to have dinner tonight.
So Dave, just one comment. The Elections Committee deals with the procedural aspects. It's not a nom-com.
Correct.
It's the membership itself that nominates candidates.
Correct. We are unlike some other organizations. We do not have a nom-com. We will not give you a recommended slate. This is mostly to deal with the particulars of basically having a fair, honest, and open election.
And I'm assuming there's no questions for Dave or I. We're going to join Sean and talk about NANOG 71, our conference timeline. It's posted. It will go up on the website is a landing page, and the CFP and the room block and so forth will open in about 2 weeks. But this is kind of the key dates, if you want to put them on your calendar ahead of time. I encourage you to make your room reservation. I always worry about having enough rooms for you, so please note these dates. Next.
And I'll just make a comment that although we haven't released the CFP, we are already accepting proposals for content for NANOG 71. So obviously the guidelines by which the criteria we use, we publish in the CFP, but it doesn't change too much from meeting to meeting. So if you're at the airport this evening waiting for red eye and you have an idea, put an abstract in there and we'll be in touch with you in a couple of weeks.
And also I would point out that for those that book travel early, we will have the skeleton of the agenda, which tells you when the program will start and end, up as once the registration opens. So that will happen in the next couple of weeks. You don't have to wait for the full agenda to be posted to know when you need to be there versus leave.
And we will have soon, I don't have it announced on this slide yet, but we will have a calendaring software solution in place for 71. So if you register for the meeting, not just plan to be in the hallways, but actually register, we'll have a solution enabled so that you can schedule appointments with others who are in attendance. Here we go. And with that, we're announcing NANOG 71 and all that goes on in October. As you'll notice, this slide is a little busy. We do have a lot going on all week. DNSOARC will again be before NANOG. We have the NANOG Hackathon that takes place on Sunday. We have the NANOG meeting followed by the ARIN meeting. So for some, it'll be a long week, but we encourage you to attend some or all of the week in October in the Bay Area. We're excited. Any questions? All right, safe travels, everyone. And again, thank you for coming.